So one concern I hear at times with young younger agents uh, is, will people respect me because I'm so young? You could be in your 20s or 30s, and if you're having conversations with someone twice your age, then if you think and perceive that they're not going to respect you or doubt you, then you'll project that. So your mindset is critical. It will either help you or not. And so I touched on the mindset and some key elements. I'm going to then talk about what you can do if it's recruiting someone twice your age or talking to them about a policy. You need to have the right mannerism, the right mindset to connect with them, for them to respect you and acknowledge you as an industry leader. So I'm going to explain this in a way of a story, and actually from a movie. The movie is Catch Me If You Can. Catch Me If You Can by with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. So Leonardo is the key character. He's impersonating people, and Tom Hanks is the FBI agent chasing him around to track him down and arrest him. And so it starts off with Leonardo moving to a different area and then going to a new school. And he walks into the school with a blazer on. And so as he walks in, he overhears a few of the students say, and he's only 15 or 16 at that moment, he hears the students say, "Is that our new teacher?" Kind of in jest, but also in curiosity. So Leonardo walks up, since there was no teacher in there, to the front of the room and announces himself and commands control of the room and presents himself as the teacher. And he starts setting up assignments and even school trips. However, eventually he's caught and expelled. So next he runs away from home and he decides he wants to be an airline pilot and travel the world. So he goes off to interview airline pilot executives and has access to certain areas. He walks into this to say he's doing a story for his school newspaper. So he starts asking them questions, and then he has access to certain areas to where he fraudulently gets an airline pilot uniform. So now he wears this uniform. He knows certain words to use to sound like a pilot. And the main thing is, at this point, just like the school teacher, he takes on the role, the mannerism, the persona that he is an airline pilot. So he is moving through the world that way. And in the mindset session on the program, I talk about your mindset of be, do, have. Be that professional. So for you, be that professional, that industry leader. Have that thought in your mind and project it. Because if you have doubt, you will project it and they will perceive it. That's self-fulfilling prophecy. So be that professional, that top executive. Be and then do the things you have to do, the mannerism, the voice, the connections. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment as well. And then you'll have the things you want to have, desire, and deserve. So his mindset and his projection was one. The second was he wore the uniform. He looked the part. So the same thing with you, look the part. If you're going to be meeting with someone, look professional. Look the part that you're successful, that you're an industry leader. That'll also help you feel better. Now, some people wear their lucky suit or their lucky clothes or their lucky shoes. That'll help as well if you have something you want to identify as your lucky something. So what you wear is also sending signals of information, patterns that they see, the way you move, your voice, what you're wearing. And all those patterns are picked up as an intuition of feeling. You want to have and project this feeling for them to feel confident that you are a professional. So look the part. The next thing was, from the mindset to looking the part, he sounded the part. When he interviewed the airline executives, he was picking up key buzzwords. And so what happened was he went from an airline pilot and then discovered how to create fraudulent checks. And that's where the FBI finally got involved, because of the checks that he was cashing and traveling the world. And so he stopped being an airline pilot and then moved into being a doctor, a head doctor at a hospital. Still had that baby face, but he was moving and looking the part, wearing the smock and the stethoscope. And then stopped doing that, eventually transitioned into being an attorney. And so eventually he gets caught and was working for the FBI. Now he's actually in the speaking circuit, going off and talking about his story. So he moved the part, a doctor, an attorney, airline pilot, school teacher. He picked up the buzzwords on how to talk like an airline pilot, both by interviewing executives, but also having conversations with airline pilots. So he can have those conversations in the back of the cockpit to where they won't challenge him. He knew about airplanes and little cliche words like puddle jumping, flying from the United States over to Europe. And so he'll be able to use that and project in his voice and the words that he was that pilot. And same thing with a doctor. He learned buzzwords. The way he learned the key words to use in mannerism was by watching soap operas, I think with General Hospital. So he knew what words to use, because as a head doctor, he wasn't doing surgery. He was giving instructions and asking doctor for the feedback. And then eventually, same thing with an attorney. He picked up the buzzwords and which words to use in mannerism by watching soap operas. So the mindset, the look, the dress, the part. As an attorney, he's worn a suit and had a briefcase. And then the words that he used, and also his mannerism and words combined. So he knew buzzwords, and you know buzzwords that you can use, and you can talk about when you're recruiting someone, that you can still use buzzwords about the industry, about retirement plans, so that they feel like, boy, this person, him or her, is a professional, they're knowledgeable. And you just sprinkle them in your conversation. You don't want to overwhelm them with a lot of technology words or words that might confuse them. You can say a few words and then embellish and explain what they are. Just using those words will help reinforce the fact that you are in the industry, you are a professional. And then your mannerism, the way you move. You want to move with grace and purpose. And in the program, I talk about how to move so that you project confidence and how to control an interaction when you're going to recruit somebody or for a policy. And then your voice. You want to use your voice strategically. I talk about the different voice patterns. So you want to talk with authority and certainty. And you want to use that strategically when you're talking to recruit somebody. You want to recruit and talk with certainty and authority so they know that you're confident in your message. And all of that combined with your voice, your motions, your thought patterns, what you wear and what you're projecting, creates a strong message. Even if you're in your 20s and you're having a conversation with someone in their 50s or 60s, or in your 30s, and someone twice as old as you, and you want to recruit them, you can still do it. And there are many, as you already know, that are doing that. They may not know how or why. I'm just sharing you some elements that they're doing, and they may not even know it. And so now you know the secret combination